And off we go on a Sunday night. Good evening, one and all. Carson Meredith with you here on Wave Weather Now. Thanks for stopping by. Let everybody get some time in here to hop on the stream. We've got a lot to talk about this week. In case you haven't been paying attention, maybe you've been enjoying the sunshine we had, the little taste of summer that we had today, especially the warmest day of 2024 so far. 84 today. That was our high here in Louisville. It actually may have bumped up to 85. I haven't checked, but mid 80s, that is for sure. Earlier today. Hope you got outside and enjoyed it. We're going to keep the warm weather around, but the dry, sunny weather, not so much. Got a lot of storms on the way, unfortunately, and we're starting to get closer into range for Wednesday in particular with that alert day, the severe weather threat, to where we can start focusing in on some time frames, more specific time frames aside from just morning and afternoon. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're also going to discuss storms on Monday, kind of a sneaky little threat here on Monday. It shouldn't be a big deal, but I'm going to walk you through why some of those storms tomorrow might pack a little bit of a punch before we even get to Wednesday. Busy stretch ahead. It's April in the Ohio Valley, right? Let's see who's chiming in tonight. Joshua from Oldham County in LaGrange. Angela says, good evening. Good evening. We supposed to get bad storms this week, Nancy asked. Maybe on Wednesday. That's what we'll talk about. Let's see. It looks like Bill's in a good mood on Facebook. Weather Geek on YouTube says, good evening, Carson. Gorgeous day here. Yeah, it sure was. What a glorious day it was, really. So let's go ahead and get my boxes up, and we'll start things off looking in Jeffersonville. Well, looking at Louisville from our Jeffersonville SkyTrack camera. Nice and quiet. You know, we were expecting some clouds to move in today, but that did not happen. That's okay, though, if you ask me. No complaints there, right? We had that bright blue sky once again. Got up to 84. That's the reason why we were in the mid 80s instead of the low 80s. And hey, we're still in the 80s here 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. 83. Last check at Ollie International. It was very breezy today, borderline blustery, still kind of is. 26 mile per hour gusts last check here in Louisville. I saw some gusts get right at that 30 mark earlier today. So definitely a breezy one, but still pretty comfortable. Tons of outdoor stuff going on this weekend. Man, oh man. You know, if you have our Wave Weather app, we always try to pinpoint where the big events around town or around Wave Country are happening. We like to give you little updates, little weather updates on that app for any of those events going on. And I had to send out quite a few of those this weekend, but just means we're getting closer to summer, right? Getting deeper into the warm season. No complaints about that. Look at our Kentucky Mesonet cameras. Beautiful sunset. You know, those sunsets keep getting later and later. Sunrise is getting earlier and earlier, of course. 79 in Bullitt and Carroll County, 75 in Oldham, 77 in Taylor County. Really, really nice day. And tonight will be pretty mild too. Mostly clear skies. We'll see those temperatures get into the low 60s. Just a smidge still on the breezy side. We might see those winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour through the evening. But all in all, it stays nice and quiet, at least for tonight. There will be some clouds filtering in, but that's pretty much it. So let's talk about Monday, because that's when things start to get busy again. Okay, tomorrow's not a washout. In fact, a lot of you may stay dry for most of the day tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we're all definitely going to be in good shape. No rain for the morning commute. We may have a random shower pop up as early as 10 a.m. or noon, but it looks like past 5 or 6 o'clock is when that window for more of those pop-up storms comes into play. And that chance will persist into the evening hours, Monday night, okay? It's a 30% chance, and if you made me pinpoint an exact spot in Wave Country that could be more likely to see these storms tomorrow, it would be if you live along I-64. So here in Louisville, out towards Corydon, the Knobs, Tell City, Crawford County, you go towards the Kentucky side, Shelbyville, Frankfort. anybody along 64. And the reason why we're getting that specific is because right along the interstate, right along the Ohio River, there's going to be a stalled frontal boundary tomorrow, and that will set off those pop-up storms once we get to that convective temperature. In other words, we get warm enough where those storms start to blow up. We'll be in the mid 80s again tomorrow, all right? 84 is our forecast. So it'll be plenty warm. It'll feel kind of like a summer day tomorrow. It was so nice today because we didn't have the humidity, right? Well, that moisture is going to be creeping back in throughout the day on Monday. So it'll feel really like a taste of summer to kick off the work week. All right, comment time. Let's see. We got a lot of folks chiming in this evening. Here we go. Good evening from Brandenburg. Ashley mowed today. Good idea. Good idea. A lot of folks probably mowing the lawn for the first time this season. Brandon says, good evening. Patty's watching in Bardstown. Weather here is definitely different than Southern Alabama, James says. Yeah, lived in North Alabama for almost 5 years, so kind of the same thing, right? Definitely a different beast up here compared to down on the Gulf Coast. Let's see. Jackson on YouTube. Storm Prediction Center issued a day 4, 15% risk. Yep, we're going to talk about that here in a few. Kathy's watching in E-Town. A lot of guys and gals chiming in tonight. Bald Knob, Kentucky. Now, Tish, I know a lot of little towns in this state, but I don't think I've ever heard of Bald Knob. Can you tell me where that is? I'm curious now. That sounds like a mountain town. That's just a guess, though. It's a cool name. A lot of weird, cool town names in this state, isn't there? Donnie says, good evening from Du Bois, Indiana. Cody, 29.8 mile per hour gust in Rhineyville. I bet, Cody, you got that off your weather station at the house, didn't you? Thanks for that report, though. Yeah, we've had a lot of 30 mile per hour gusts throughout the day today, and it's still kind of breezy out there. Angela, please more rain. My lawn is drying out from being a swamp a few days ago. Yeah, we can't level things out, can't we? Right? You know, that we had all the rain this past week, kind of dampened things up a bit, and we got almost too dry this weekend. Too dry, too quick. We'll get a good dose of rain this week. I'm not worried about flooding, but half inch, maybe 1 inch of rain over the next few days. Stars watching. Nancy, what does the weather look like for thunder? Yes, can't forget about thunder. We'll talk about that towards the end of our video tonight. Ralph, as always, watching in Nicholasville. A lot of folks watching. We appreciate you tuning in. Okay, we'll get back to the comments in a minute. But for Monday, not everybody's going to see rain or storms tomorrow, okay? It's a scattered summer-like day when it comes to those storm chances. Better chances will be after 4 or 5 p.m. and last into the evening. Now, let me show you that on Futurecast. Still, at least according to this forecast model, not much around 5 o'clock, but you can kind of see when you look at the clouds on Futurecast where this front's going to be. Just kind of in that general corridor, right along, maybe just a tick south of I-64. Now, what's going to happen as the day goes on tomorrow evening in particular, is this front will lift back to the north as a warm front. So that'll nudge those rain chances into the evening, definitely on 64, along 64, and especially in southern Indiana. That's when the front will lift back to the north as a warm front, which will also set the stage for that severe weather potential on Wednesday. But you notice as the evening goes on, that storm coverage starts to pick up a little bit. And you see a few heavier downpours here and there. I think that's the main concern we're going to watch tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, is just good old-fashioned summer-like downpours. Dumping rain in your backyard, but you go 2 miles down the road and there's nothing. Maybe that kind of situation tomorrow evening, all right? Now, as far as any strong storms tomorrow, there's a small chance we're going to have enough fuel in the atmosphere. There'll be plenty of moisture coming in from the south and west as this front moves back to the north. So as the front moves back north, you have a bunch of moisture coming in across central Kentucky. So we can't rule out a couple of stronger storms tomorrow. It's not going to be a huge deal. We may not even have any warnings tomorrow, but you guys know how these summertime storms are. They go up and They may have some gusty winds with them to where the Weather Service decides, okay, let's put out a severe thunderstorm warning just to be on the safe side. That's not out of the question tomorrow. It's a low chance, but it's something we'll watch into the evening. And as the evening goes on, we lose the heat of the day. And as that front lifts to the north, any downpours that are still around should be fading away past midnight tomorrow night. So again, most of the day tomorrow is dry and warm. Highs in the mid 80s again. I haven't looked at the record for tomorrow, but we could make a run for it again. So that's for the start of the day. And then into the late afternoon and evening, we'll have a few more storms firing up. One or two of them could have some wind. Several of them will likely have some heavier rain with them. So that's the situation for Monday. Let me back up Futurecast here and we'll look at the comments again. That's around 9 o'clock tomorrow night that you're looking at. Wednesday going to be bad, Joanne asked. We'll get into it. It's not, my personal opinion, it does not look as bad as 2 weeks ago when we had that tornado roll through Jeffersonville and Prospect and Oldham County. But it's something we still need to pay attention to, which is why we've gone ahead and issued an alert day. Kevin says it all the time. It's one of those deals where we say, hey, pay attention on this day. That's what we're doing with this alert day for Wednesday. Just something to pay attention to, all right? And we'll talk more about that in a second. Let's see. 4 miles from Baghdad. Okay. Tish asked, answering my question about where Bald Knob is. 4 miles from Baghdad. I know exactly where Baghdad is. Good. Thanks, Tish. Learn something new every day. Okay, that's yeah, hang on. Some people just think they're real funny, don't they? Brenda's not funny. She's just saying hello. She's being friendly. Hello in New Albany. Hope all is well tonight, Brenda. Joanne says thanks. So everybody's good so far. All right, let's talk about Tuesday. Let me get through Futurecast. All right, there's Tuesday. Big story on Tuesday is the wind. As this system that's going to bring us a severe threat on Wednesday moves closer, the wind's going to start to pick up on Tuesday afternoon, especially. You notice around noontime Tuesday, we'll see those gusts around 15 to 20. But as the evening goes on, 25 to 30 mile per hour gusts widespread. And then right as this system is on our doorstep, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, that's when the gusts will be at their highest. Even outside of thunderstorms, Wednesday, we could see gusts between 30 and 35 miles per hour. So Tuesday, 25 to 30 gusts. Wednesday, 30 to 35. So if you want to be on the safe side, just make sure everything is anchored down around the house, your patio furniture, things like that. And, I say it all the time. Bring the trash cans inside the garage so they don't go flying down the street. That's for Tuesday and Wednesday with the wind. Then we turn to the storm potential on Wednesday. Alert day is still in place, okay? If you've heard about our yellow alert days versus red alert days, this is a yellow day, which means that things could get a little dicey. So you need to pay attention, but right now it doesn't look like a significant severe weather outbreak necessarily. However, when you look at the timing of this system, it's actually pretty similar to what we've had so far this season, where you get a round of storms early in the day, then a break, then another round of storms in the afternoon. And really, our thinking has not changed a whole lot with how this is going to play out. We'll start things off Wednesday morning with rain and a few storms, but the severe weather ingredients just aren't there Wednesday morning. They're to our west, okay? So as those storms move in Wednesday morning, they're probably going to be weakening. Now, we're not going to say severe clear totally for Wednesday morning, but that first round just doesn't look that impressive at this point. Heavy rain might cause some issues for the morning drive, but no severe weather concerns or no significant concerns until we get to the afternoon. And right as that cold front's moving in Wednesday afternoon, those storms start to fire up, and that's when they could be severe, when those storms are overlapped with the forcing from the cold front as well as the fuel that'll be coming in later in the day. All modes of severe weather are on the table again. That does not mean a tornado outbreak at all. All right. That does not mean that everybody's going to see severe weather. That just means that a little bit of everything could be on the table for Wednesday afternoon. Let's see here. Boy, we got some people in the comments that really want to stir stuff up tonight, don't we? Okay. Come on, guys. Let's all be nice. All right, there's a severe weather risk for Wednesday. It's pretty straightforward. Everybody in wave country is in a slight risk for severe storms Wednesday. That's a level 2 on our 1 to 5 scale. As far as whether or not it's going to get upgraded or anything like that, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Something that I did notice with the Storm Prediction Center's discussion on this risk for Wednesday is they still have some questions as to how unstable we get Wednesday afternoon. And we have the same questions too. You guys know, if you've been around here long enough, when you have a morning round of storms roll through, it's always kind of a guessing game as to how quickly the atmosphere can refuel itself for more storms in the afternoon, right? Well, what we had 2 weeks ago, yeah, it definitely recharged in plenty of time. That's why we had all the tornadoes in the afternoon back on April 2nd. But I've seen plenty of severe weather potentials in the past that just flat out don't happen because we're socked into clouds all day and we never saw that instability come back. So we still have to work out those details over the next day or two to see just how unstable we can get. It'll come down to if we get any breaks in the clouds around lunchtime on Tuesday. But in general, everybody is under a slight risk for severe storms Wednesday afternoon. That is a level 2 risk on the 1 to 5 scale. Pretty standard for wave country when it comes to severe weather this time of year. So let's keep going. Let's show you Futurecast, all right? This is the freshest data that I've got for you. It came in just a few hours ago, and we're getting another round of data that's starting right now. It should be with us here in the next hour or two. Note the time here, all right? This is 3 o'clock Wednesday morning. There's that first round that we were talking about a minute ago. Now, you notice on this forecast model, there are some oranges and there are some reds. That means heavy rain, yes. Does that mean severe storms? Not necessarily. Again, for this first round on Wednesday morning, the main severe weather ingredients are to our west. All right, they're out towards Evansville, St. Louis, Champaign, Illinois, those guys. As these storms push east early Wednesday morning into our backyard, they don't have the ingredients they need to keep going, right? So they should be weakening. That doesn't mean that we're severe clear. It just means that more than anything else, we're probably looking at a heavy rain issue Wednesday morning. Now, this 3 a.m. timing would actually be good for us. You might get woken up by rumbles of thunder Tuesday night, early Wednesday. But if these storms move fast enough, they'll get out of here in time for the morning drive. But there's also a flip side to that too. If those storms clear out too quickly, that will allow for the atmosphere to recharge for more storms in the afternoon. So a lot of trade-offs to deal with here. Again, with this setup on Wednesday. You notice around 7 a.m., and again, this is just one forecast model, one run. This could change with the evening data coming in right now, okay? So keep that in mind if you hear us kind of fine-tune these details over the next couple of days. But 7 a.m. on Wednesday, most of the storms are heading out towards I-75, Frankfort, Lexington, Richmond, Paris, Cynthiana, all those little towns just off to our east in the bluegrass. So that's round one. More than anything else, it just looks like heavy rain. We'll watch to see if there's still some gusty winds, but it looks like that threat with round one is further to our west. That's Wednesday morning. But you see the break that we get. Let me back up Futurecast a little bit. Here we go. It's 11 a.m. Round one is to the east. Here comes round two to our west. If I can draw where those are. Well, you get the idea. Round 2's to our west near the Wabash River, Indiana, Illinois. And here in wave country, we're kind of stuck in the middle of the two rounds with some clearing skies, not total clearing, but some, with those temperatures, at least according to this one model, near 70 degrees. So that $1 million question is going to be, just how quickly do we recharge the atmosphere for these afternoon storms on Wednesday? Let's say the atmosphere does recharge. As we go through the early afternoon, you see kind of these broken little pockets of severe storms, strong to severe storms, okay? They could move in as early as noon or 1 o'clock on Wednesday in southern Indiana. And if they have this broken look to them, okay, where you've kind of got these little cells by themselves, you guys know what that means. That means these could be supercells that might bump up the tornado potential a little bit. We'll have to watch that. But if this all just becomes one solid line, then we may not have as much of a tornado threat, but it will be a damaging straight line wind threat. And again, those finer details, we're just now getting into that range where we can start working on those details, right? So you've got, when you see our 10-day forecast, you see, like, let's say day 7, day 8, day 9, okay? We use long-term forecast models for those days that don't have as good of resolution. So that means you can't see those details that far out, right? Well, now that we're getting closer and closer and closer to Wednesday, we can look at more high-resolution models that can give us some clues as to those finer details that ultimately decide how this is all going to play out, right? So we're just now getting into that short-term range. So these muddy details we're going through tonight, they will continue to clear up over the next 24 to 48 hours. So I would say by tomorrow night, Tuesday morning, we'll have a really good idea of how all of this is going to play out. But you get the general view. We'll have this first round of rainstorms move in early Wednesday morning, likely not severe, but could still have heavy rain, maybe some wind too. We'll get a break late Wednesday morning, closer to lunchtime, and then we'll have to watch the second round of storms firing off to our west and see if it can intensify enough with the heat of the day to potentially bring in severe weather. We're not ready to do specific time frames yet, but my gut at this point, my gut forecast feeling is from noon to about 8 on Wednesday afternoon. Noon to 8. Very early range there for the severe weather potential. That could be adjusted, obviously, so just keep that in mind. But in general, we'll just say noon to 8 for that storm potential Wednesday afternoon, okay? All right, I've been rambling a lot. Let's see what kind of questions we have here. Let's see. Joanne, what time does it start Wednesday in the morning and afternoon? So we mentioned for the afternoon between, let's just say, noon and 8 for now. As far as the morning is concerned, this looks like 2 to 3 a.m. at the earliest, especially to the west. You can see that right there. That's around 3 a.m. Wednesday. Clearing wave country by 9 o'clock. So let's just say 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. for that round, okay? Let's see here. Will we get an enhanced? A lot of people are talking about it. Again, guys, I don't know. Do we have any rain for cause flooding issues for thunder? Maybe. We'll get into thunder here in a second. That's a really good question, Ben. Let's see. Will the risk be during school release? Lauren asked for Wednesday afternoon. Potentially, if it's in that noon-ish time frame like I talked about, we might have to watch that. We don't make school decisions. We don't have any business with that, but we'll keep an eye on it. That might be a concern Wednesday afternoon. Yes. Not going to say it will be for sure, but something to watch. Good question, Lauren. This is all for Wednesday, Ann. Yes, this is for Wednesday morning, then again Wednesday afternoon. Let's see. Yeah, Shonda, no thanks. I'm good. Saw enough tornado mess a couple weeks ago. Yeah, if only we could just say, shoo, go away with severe weather. But we're really in the peak of the season now, guys, and we still got another month and a half or so before we may try to calm things down a little bit. But even then, it's always busy around this part of the country. Always, any time of year. So that's where we stand at this point. One more question just popped up. Jamie, are tornadoes on the table? They are. Are they going to be significant tornadoes? Never say never, but I'm not worried about these bigger tornadoes. I'm more focused on these spin-ups. If we get a line of storms Wednesday afternoon, which can still cause damage, don't get me wrong, but they're not as catastrophic, for lack of a better term. So again, round one, easy for me to say, Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning, mainly just heavy rain, perhaps some wind, might slow you down on the morning drive. We'll get a break late morning, 9, 10 a.m. And then we'll have to watch these storms that try to fire up right along the cold front Wednesday afternoon, generally between noon and 8 o'clock, okay? This is not something to panic about. A lot can still change for the better or for the worse, as we've seen already this season. So just keep checking back in often. Sorry, guys, I'm tired. We'll be here giving you constant updates. It's nothing out of the ordinary for this part of the country this time of year, all right? Let's look at the 10-day because I've seen a lot of questions about what happens after Wednesday. Well, Thunder's coming up, and of course, we've got to talk about some cool, potentially wet weather for Thunder because it just seems like it happens every year. I'm afraid we're all going to be saying Saturday, man, why didn't we have Thunder this past weekend, the one that we're wrapping up now with all the sunshine we had? You notice on Thursday, we're looking mostly dry. That's kind of a break in between the system. So you got the Wednesday system, then a break Thursday, then another system looks to move in Thursday night and Friday. Now, that does not have a severe weather potential with it at this point. It's just not there. But the problem with this Friday system is that front with that system is going to park itself nearby. So that means we're going to keep some showers around into Thunder over Louisville. We were hoping that that system would move further south, and it still could, but we were hoping it would move a little further south to where we could dry out at least for Thunder. But I've noticed this weekend that that Friday system, instead of going south like we hoped, is stalling out right over Kentucky and Tennessee. So that would keep some showers around, at least for the air show for sure, Saturday afternoon, which of course puts cloud ceiling limits into play. And, I've seen too many Thunders where this kind of setup has put a damper on things, no pun intended. Now, if there's any good news, the high temperatures Saturday are trending a little warmer, a little bit. We were thinking the 50s, but I bumped up that high to 62. Still cool, still not ideal for, hang on, sorry, I got spammers again. Golly, these guys are brutal. No. Ay. Technology is your best friend until it's not. It's crazy. Shonda says, me too. Yeah. Do you think they'll get practice in on Friday? That's a good question, Shonda, for the air show. There's going to be some showers around for Friday as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But, I don't know what it is. It always seems like weather is an issue on Thunder. But right now, we're going to say low 60s with a 30% chance of rain. So we'll see. Hopefully that improves. We're still 6 days away, so a lot could still change. For the fireworks, I do think the rain will start to move out in time for the fireworks. Does that mean it will be totally dry? Maybe not, but it will be drier. So take comfort in that, I guess. Temperatures will be in the 40s, so it will be chilly. If you are going to Thunder Saturday, no matter whether or not we see rain or not, you got to bundle up. It's going to be chilly, and being right along the river, of course, will make it feel kind of cooler. Now, as far as those river levels, somebody was asking about flooding concerns earlier. The Ohio is running a little high. I don't have the river level charts in my show tonight. I should have added those in there. That's on me. They're not at flood stage. They're not really forecast to get into concerning flood stage, if you will, but the water is a smidge high. Is it going to be enough to impact the viewing areas along the waterfront Saturday? I don't think so, not significantly, but it's something we'll keep an eye on, especially with all the rain and storms we have coming in this week. Speaking of, as we step out of the Saturday forecast, I'll show you the rain forecast for the entire week. In general, we're talking around 1 inch of rain across the region, which shouldn't add too much in the way of a flood concern, but it's still something we'll keep an eye on. So to answer your question about flooding for Thunder on Saturday, the river's running a little high, but it's nothing of significant concern at this point. Hope that answers your question. But we'll keep an eye on the rain chances for Thunder. Just know now, it's not going to be great this year, guys. I hate that. I wish Thunder was this weekend instead of this upcoming weekend, but it is what it is. Now, once we get that system out of here, the following week looks quieter as we start getting closer to the Derby Festival or getting deeper into the Derby Festival. Low 70s by next Tuesday and next Wednesday. So all in all, not too bad, but Thunder might not be the best this year. Let's see here. Checking some comments. Sorry, guys. Let's see. It was interesting Thursday evening, Angela says, to see the path on Imping that Hail Corps took. Yeah, that's a good point, Angela. I thought it was Angie. Sorry. If you guys have ever seen us use Imping on our weather segments, it's this free app that you can download. It's from the Weather Service, I think. And you can like put in whatever weather you see, like hail reports and things like that. We had some of those little cells roll through Thursday and even a couple on Friday, I think. And you can see like where those supercells went through with the little hail that they had. Yeah, that's a good point, Angela. That's good. Jamie, I have tornado anxiety. I know. Trust me. One of the reasons I got into weather is because I was scared to death of severe weather when I was a kid. I get it. So we'll be fine. This is very typical for springtime around here. It's just one of those days where we'll have to pay attention again. That's why we have the alert day. That is not to scare you. You know, a lot of people want to say the alert days are to scare you. No, could not be further from the truth. It's just a way of saying, hey, pay attention to this day. It could be a little stormy, might be severe. That's all it is. And that's why we have that alert day for Wednesday. Okay. All right. I don't want to ramble much longer. So if you guys are good, don't see any more questions, we are going to call it a night here on Wave Weather Now. Look over the data this evening. I'll have a forecast update for you coming up on Wave News at 11 on the good old-fashioned TV. Tawana will be here in the morning. Be Good will be back here in the Wave Weather Now studios tomorrow morning as well. Make sure you pay attention to the skies tomorrow afternoon for a few storms, and obviously keep coming back often for updates on that Wednesday severe weather threat. Doesn't look like a huge deal at this point, but we've got to pay attention to it, all right? We'll get through it just fine. We always find a way to do that, right? All right, guys. That is going to do it for me tonight on Wave Weather Now. I'll be on TV at 11, so make sure you tune in for that. I'll leave you with the 10-day earliest alert, and we will sign off. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Be kind to one another, and have a fantastic week ahead. Just keep that umbrella handy and keep an eye to the skies. We'll talk soon, everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday night. See you later.